Welcome back, and thank you for tuning into Cheating Tales Lab. We appreciate every single one of you. We'd love to know, what part of the world are you watching from right now? Let us know in the comments. Now, let's dive into today's story. Chapter 1. Shattered Foundations. Young Elias Thorne sat at the worn chess table in Central Park, his fingers dancing across the weathered pieces as he calculated his next move. The older man across from him shifted uncomfortably, sweat beading on his forehead despite the cool autumn breeze. "Check," Elias announced quietly, his dark eyes fixed on his opponent. The man's expression crumpled as he realized his position was hopeless. Another $50 would soon join the stack in Elias's pocket. "You're a shark, kid," the man muttered, tipping over his king in resignation. Elias collected his winnings without comment. At 16, he'd already learned that victory required neither celebration nor explanation. It simply was. 20 years later, that same measured intensity radiated from Elias as he stood before the board of Maxwell Industries, one of Silicon Valley's most prestigious tech firms. The presentation slides behind him displayed complex market analysis and strategic recommendations that had taken months to prepare. "Mr. Thorne," Elizabeth Maxwell, the CEO, leaned forward in her chair. "Your proposal is ambitious. Some might say ruthlessly so." "Ruthlessness, Ms. Maxwell, is simply efficiency viewed through an emotional lens." Elias's voice carried the same quiet certainty it had in his chess-playing days. "The market won't show mercy to Maxwell Industries. Why should your strategy?" A murmur rippled through the boardroom. Elizabeth's lips curved into a slight smile. "Indeed. Well, I believe we've heard enough. Thorne Strategies will have our answer by end of day." Elias gathered his materials, his mind already racing ahead to the next meeting when his phone buzzed. Serafina's name flashed across the screen. He stepped into an empty conference room to take the call. "Hey, beautiful," he answered, allowing warmth to seep into his voice. Serafina was the one person who'd ever seen past his carefully constructed walls.
"Elias."
Her tone was oddly flat. Something in his chest tightened. "I've filed for divorce." He gripped the phone tighter, knuckles whitening. "What?" "I've moved on. With someone else. I've already sold the apartment." A pause. "I'm keeping Duke." "Duke." Their German shepherd. The dog Elias had surprised her with on their first anniversary. The one who slept at the foot of their bed every night. "The apartment?" His voice remained steady even as his mind raced. "The penthouse they'd bought with his first major consulting fee. The home where they'd hosted dinner parties, made love, planned their future. Yes, the papers have been signed. You'll need to find somewhere else to live." Another pause. "Good luck starting over." The line went dead. Elias stood motionless, phone still pressed to his ear. The numbers flashed through his mind. Joint accounts, property deeds, investment portfolios. All the financial threads that bound their lives together. Threads that Serafina had apparently been quietly unraveling. His phone buzzed again. Elizabeth Maxwell's office. "Mr. Thorne? The board has approved your proposal. We'd like to move forward immediately."
"Excellent."
No tremor betrayed his inner turmoil. "I'll have the contracts drawn up by tomorrow. Are you all right, Mr. Thorne? You sound..." "I'm perfect," he cut in smoothly. "Now, about those contracts." As he outlined next steps, his free hand opened his laptop, fingers flying across the keyboard. Bank accounts, credit cards, investment portfolios. By the time he hung up, he'd initiated a cascade of financial safeguards that would protect his assets from whatever Serafina had planned. The drive home was a blur of strategic calculations. Each red light brought new realizations. The careful way Serafina had been organizing their financial documents. Her sudden interest in his business dealings. The late nights at the office showing properties to motivated buyers. He'd been playing chess while she played him. The penthouse lobby was unusually quiet. Marcus, the doorman who'd greeted him every evening for 5 years, couldn't meet his eyes. "She left an hour ago, Mr. Thorne, with some man. They took several suitcases." Elias nodded once, eternally composed. "Thank you, Marcus." The elevator ride gave him time to make 2 calls. The first to Cassandra Sterling, his old college friend and, more importantly, one of the city's most ruthless divorce attorneys. The second to Isabel Hayes, his childhood friend and business partner. When the elevator doors opened, Serafina stood in the hallway, designer handbag over one arm, Duke's leash in her other hand. The German shepherd whined at the sight of Elias, straining toward him. "I thought you'd be working late," she said, red lips curving into a smirk. "You usually do." "Evidently, I should have worked later more often." Elias's voice was arctic. "It might have given you more time with your lover, Damien," she supplied helpfully, "though I suppose you'll meet him soon enough." During the proceedings, the elevator dinged again. Cassandra stepped out, her Louboutins clicking against the marble floor. Serafina's smirk faltered. "Hello, sister," Cassandra said coolly. "I see you're already moving out. How convenient. It saves us the trouble of seeking an eviction order." "Cassandra?" Serafina's perfectly manicured hand tightened on Duke's leash. "What are you doing here?" "I'm not just your sister anymore." Cassandra moved to stand beside Elias. "I'm also my fiancé's legal representative. I'll be handling all communication regarding the divorce proceedings from now on." The color drained from Serafina's face. "Fiancé? Did you really think you were the only one who could plan ahead?" Elias's smile never reached his eyes. "Now, I believe that's my dog you're holding." "Duke is mine," Serafina snapped. The papers you forged?" Cassandra interrupted, opening her briefcase. "I have the original adoption documents right here. Duke is registered solely to Elias." Duke barked, pulling harder toward Elias. With trembling fingers, Serafina released the leash. The German shepherd bounded to Elias's side, tail wagging furiously. "You can't do this," Serafina whispered. "I haven't even started." Elias stepped past her into the penthouse, Duke at his heels. "Cassandra, please ensure Miss Thorne understands her legal obligations. I have some packing to do." The door closed on Serafina's shocked face. Inside, Elias surveyed the home they'd shared. 5 years of memories. 5 years of lies. His phone buzzed. A text from Isabel. "My guest room is ready. Take all the time you need." Another message appeared below it. "Elizabeth Maxwell, contract signed. Maxwell Industries is officially a Thorne Strategies client." Elias allowed himself a small smile. The game had begun. Chapter 2. Gathering the Pieces. Isabel's loft in Tribeca hummed with the gentle whir of servers and computers. As one of Silicon Valley's most successful tech entrepreneurs, she'd turned the industrial space into a combination living quarters and command center. Now, it served as Elias's war room. "I've started compiling the data," Isabel said, her fingers flying across multiple keyboards. Screens around them displayed financial records, social media feeds, and surveillance footage. "Serafina's been busy." "Show me," Elias commanded, leaning over her shoulder. Credit card statements show regular charges at the Mandarin Oriental, always on Tuesday afternoons. "Room service for 2. Isabel pulled up the records. "She's been meeting someone there for at least 6 months. Damien," Elias supplied. "Her lover, Damien Vance." Isabel typed the name, bringing up a new set of screens. Self-styled fitness guru and social media influencer. 300,000 followers on Instagram. Posts mostly shirtless workout videos and nutrition advice. Duke padded over from his bed in the corner, resting his head on Elias's knee. Absently, Elias scratched behind the dog's ears. "What else?" "She's been systematically liquidating assets. Small amounts, nothing that would trigger immediate attention. But over 6 months." Isabel shook her head. "She's moved nearly $2 million into offshore accounts." "My money," Elias said softly, his hand stilled on Duke's head. "Your money," Isabel confirmed. "I'm sorry, I should have noticed something was wrong."
No.
Elias straightened. "I should have noticed. I won't make that mistake again." The elevator pinged, announcing Cassandra's arrival. She strode in, legal documents tucked under one arm. "We have a problem," she announced without preamble. "Serafina's claiming emotional abuse. Says you were controlling, manipulative, isolated her from friends and family."
Naturally.
Elias's voice remained calm. "It's what I would do in her position. Attack first, establish the narrative." This isn't a game, Elias, Cassandra protested. Everything's a game, Cassandra. The trick is knowing which one you're playing. He turned to face her fully. What else? She's hired Martin Green. Isabel whistled softly. Martin Green was known as the Butcher of Broadway, a divorce attorney famous for leaving wealthy spouses penniless. Good, Elias said simply. Good. Cassandra stared at him. Martin Green has never lost a case. Then he's overdue. Elias moved to the window, looking out over the city. Tell me, Cassandra, why did you really come to me when you discovered Serafina's affairs? Cassandra was quiet for a long moment. Because I remember who you were in college. The chess champion who could see 10 moves ahead. The strategist who never lost his composure, never acted without purpose. She set her briefcase down. And because Serafina's been playing games her whole life, manipulating people, taking what she wants. It's time someone beat her at her own game. And you're willing to help me do that? She's your sister. She stopped being my sister the moment she betrayed you. Cassandra's voice hardened. I've watched her destroy relationships, ruin lives, always walking away unscathed. Not this time. Elias nodded once. Isabel, what do we know about Damien Vance's finances? He's drowning in debt, Isabel reported, pulling up new screens. Credit cards maxed out, mortgage underwater on his condo. His social media income barely covers the interest payments. And yet he's been making large cash deposits, Cassandra added. I had my investigator check his bank records. $50,000 last month alone. Serafina's money, Elias concluded. My money. The elevator pinged again. Detective Miles Corbin stepped out, his weathered face grim. Mr. Thorne? He held up his badge. You asked for a discreet investigation? Detective. Elias gestured to a chair. What have you found? Your wife's been busy. Corbin opened his notebook. Multiple meetings with known financial fixers. Several large cash transactions just under the reporting threshold. And there's something else. He hesitated. Mr. Vance has a history. 3 previous relationships with wealthy married women. All ended in divorce. All involved significant financial settlements. A professional, Elias mused. Interesting. There's more, Corbin continued. Your wife's real estate dealings? Several properties were sold well below market value to shell companies. Companies that trace back to accounts in the Cayman Islands. Money laundering, Cassandra breathed. Elias, this is bigger than divorce. This is criminal. Indeed. Elias turned back to the window. Detective, I want everything. Every meeting, transaction, phone call. I want to know what they eat for breakfast and where they buy their coffee. Already on it. Corbin stood. I'll have daily reports sent to Ms. Sterling. After he left, silence filled the loft. Duke whined softly, sensing the tension. What's our next move? Isabel asked finally. We wait, Elias said. The best traps are the ones the target walks into willingly. His phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Mr. Thorne? This is Gemma Davis, Serafina's friend. We need to talk. Elias showed the message to Cassandra. Your sister's confidant? Gemma knows everything, Cassandra confirmed. She's been Serafina's hairdresser for years. And her keeper of secrets. Perfect. Elias typed a reply, setting up a meeting. Isabel, I need you to do something for me. Name it. Buy out my father's company. Both women stared at him. Arthur Thorne's business empire was worth billions. Elias, Isabel said carefully, even with both our resources combined, use whatever means necessary. I want controlling interest by the end of the week. May I ask why? Elias's smile was razor-sharp. Because the best way to destroy someone is to take away everything they want. Serafina wanted my money? Fine. I'll show her what real wealth looks like. He turned back to the screens displaying Serafina and Damien's activities. They thought they were so clever, playing their little games. Now they'll learn what happens when you challenge a grandmaster. Duke barked once, as if in agreement. In the reflection of the window, Elias's eyes gleamed with cold purpose. The pieces were in place. The game was set. Let them come. Chapter 3. Preparing the Gambit. The exclusive restaurant buzzed with the quiet conversation of New York's elite. Gemma Davis sat at a corner table, nervously shredding her napkin as she waited for Elias. Ms. Davis. Elias appeared silently beside her, making her jump. Thank you for meeting me, Mr. Thorne. Gemma's eyes darted around the restaurant. Serafina can't know I'm here.
Naturally.
Elias sat, signaling the waiter. McAllen 25. Neat? Ms. Davis? Just water, Gemma whispered. I can't stay long. Then let's not waste time. Elias leaned forward slightly. Tell me about my wife's affairs. Gemma's hands trembled as she took a sip of water. It wasn't just Damien. There were others. Many others. Details, Ms. Davis. Names. Dates. Places. The first was 2 years ago. Richard Bennett, a client. She showed him a penthouse and Gemma swallowed hard. Then there was Michael Torres, another real estate developer. And James Wilson, the investment banker. And Damien? He was different. Gemma's voice dropped lower. She fell for him. Or thought she did. He knew exactly what buttons to push, what to say. He made her feel powerful, desired. But really, he just wanted her money. Your money. And you never thought to tell me? Gemma flinched at his tone. She's my best friend. And she said you were cold, distant, that you treated her like another acquisition. Did she? Elias sipped his scotch. How convenient. But it wasn't true, was it? Gemma met his eyes for the first time. I saw how you looked at her, how you treated her. You loved her. Love is a weakness, Miss Davis. One I won't indulge again. He placed a thick envelope on the table. Your loyalty to Serafina is admirable. Perhaps this will help you redirect it. Gemma opened the envelope, gasping at the contents. This is evidence of your involvement in Serafina's financial schemes. The money you helped her move. The false documents you notarized. Elias's voice remained pleasant. Enough to send you to prison for a very long time. You wouldn't. I would. He finished his scotch. Unless you help me destroy them. Gemma stared at the envelope, then at Elias. What do you want to know? Everything. Elias signaled for another scotch. Start with their routine. Where they meet, what they discuss, their plans. For the next hour, Gemma spilled Serafina's secrets. The hidden apartment Damien maintained in Brooklyn. The offshore accounts they'd set up together. Their plans to launch a luxury real estate brand using Elias's money. She always said you underestimated her. Gemma finished, her voice hoarse. That you were so focused on your business, your strategies, you never saw what was right in front of you. A common misconception. Elias stood, buttoning his jacket. People often mistake patience for blindness. What are you going to do? Nothing you need concern yourself with. He placed a business card on the table. Detective Corbin will contact you tomorrow. You'll tell him everything you told me. And if I don't? Then that envelope finds its way to the district attorney. Elias smiled coldly. Choose wisely, Ms. Davis. Back at Isabel's loft, preparations were underway. Multiple screens displayed social media analytics, financial reports, and surveillance feeds. Damien's followers are starting to notice something odd. Isabel reported, gesturing to a screen. His engagement rates are dropping. Sponsored posts are being flagged as fraudulent. Good. Elias studied the data. How long until his income stream collapses? At this rate? 2 weeks, maybe less. Isabel grinned. Amazing what a few well-placed algorithms can do. Cassandra burst in, waving a stack of papers. You'll never believe what I found. Serafina's been using your client meetings to poach business. She's been approaching them afterward, offering to handle their real estate needs at a discount. I know. Elias didn't look up from the screens. You knew? Cassandra stared at him. Why didn't you stop her? Because now we have evidence of corporate espionage. Elias turned to face her. How's the engagement announcement coming? The Times will run it Sunday. Cassandra hesitated. Are you sure about this? Using our friendship this way? Are you having doubts?
No.
Cassandra's voice firmed. I meant what I said. She needs to be stopped. The elevator pinged. Arthur Thorne stepped out, his imposing figure filling the space.
Son.
His voice rumbled through the loft. I heard about Serafina. Did you? Elias's tone remained neutral. How interesting. I have resources. Connections. Say the word, and she disappears. Her and her boy toy both.
No.
Elias turned back to the screens. This needs to be public. Legal.
Irrefutable.
Still playing by the rules? Arthur scoffed. I taught you better than that. You taught me nothing. Elias's voice could have frozen flame. Everything I learned came from watching your failures. And yet here you are, about to lose everything to a woman. Am I? Elias pressed a button. One of the screens changed, showing stock tickers. Arthur's company's shares were in free fall. What have you done? Arthur growled. Hostile takeover. Elias finally faced his father. Your board meets tomorrow to vote on new leadership. I believe they'll find my proposal quite compelling. You wouldn't dare. Wouldn't I? Elias stepped closer. You want to help? Fine. But understand this. I'm not the boy you abandoned. I'm the man who's about to own everything you built. Arthur's face purpled. You'll regret this.
No.
Elias smiled his cold smile.
But you will.
After Arthur stormed out, Isabel approached cautiously. Was that wise? It was necessary. Elias checked his watch. The engagement party venue? Secured. The plaza's grand ballroom. Every society reporter in the city will be there. Perfect. Elias pulled up a guest list. Make sure Gemma gets an invitation. I want Serafina to know exactly what's happening. She'll try to crash it, Cassandra warned. Of course she will. Elias's smile widened slightly. That's the point. The next few days passed in a blur of preparations. Elias moved through them like a force of nature, each action precise and purposeful. When the engagement was announced, the society pages exploded. The successful businessman and the brilliant lawyer. It was the story of the season. The night of the party arrived clear and cool. The plaza's grand ballroom glittered with New York's elite. Elias stood at the center of it all, Cassandra on his arm, playing the perfect couple. Outside, Serafina and Damien watched from their car as guests arrived. This is insane, Damien muttered. He's marrying your sister? Shut up. Serafina's knuckles whitened on her clutch. This is just another one of his games. Maybe we should leave.
No.
Serafina's eyes blazed. I won't let him win. But when they tried to enter, security stopped them. I'm sorry, Miss Thorne. You're not on the list. I'm his wife. Ex-wife. Elias's voice came from behind them. He stood in the doorway, champagne in hand. And as I recall, you chose to end that arrangement. You can't do this, Serafina hissed. I already have. Elias raised his glass in a mock toast. Enjoy your evening. I know I will. The doors closed on their stunned faces. Inside, Elias rejoined Cassandra. They came, she noted. Of course they did. Elias surveyed the room, filled with potential clients and influential figures. And now everyone knows exactly where they stand. The party was a triumph. By midnight, Elias had secured 3 new clients and watched Serafina's name be quietly removed from several charity board lists. Ready for what comes next? Cassandra asked as the last guest departed. Elias straightened his tie, that cold smile playing at his lips. They wanted to play games. Now they'll learn what it means to lose. The night ended with Elias back at Isabel's loft, watching the society page coverage roll in. His phone buzzed with a text from Detective Corbin. Evidence secured. Ready when you are. Elias set down his phone, gazing out at the city lights. The first act was complete. His opponents had revealed their moves, thinking they held all the cards. Now the real game would begin. Chapter 4. Escalating Conflict. Serafina Thorne stared at her computer screen, her manicured nails drumming against the mahogany desk. The numbers didn't make sense. 3 luxury property deals had fallen through in the past week alone. This is impossible, she muttered, scrolling through her emails. Another cancellation from a high-profile client. Unfortunately, given recent market conditions, we'll have to postpone our investment. Her phone buzzed. Damien, have you seen your Instagram comments? His voice cracked with panic. My followers are dropping by the thousands. Someone's calling me a fraud. Calm down, Serafina snapped, but her own heart raced. She opened Instagram, scrolling through Damien's latest posts. The comments were brutal. Fake followers. All his engagement is bought. This guy's a scam artist targeting wealthy women. Check his certification. It's completely fake. My sponsorship deals are pulling out, Damien continued. Planet Fitness just canceled our contract. That was my biggest income source. We'll figure something out, Serafina said, but her voice lacked conviction. She pulled up her bank accounts, all showing significantly lower balances than expected. A knock on her office door interrupted her thoughts. Her assistant poked her head in. Miss Thorne? The Goldstein property? They're backing out. Something about concerns with the market analysis. Serafina's grip tightened on her phone. The Goldstein deal would have netted her a six-figure commission. She needed that money, especially now. Get Arthur Thorne on the phone, she ordered. I tried, her assistant said quietly. His office says he's not taking your calls. In fact, she hesitated. They mentioned he's in meetings about acquiring your firm's building. The blood drained from Serafina's face. The building housed her most prestigious office space, the cornerstone of her luxury real estate empire. That's not possible, she whispered, but she knew it was. Arthur Thorne had the resources to buy half of Manhattan if he wanted to. Her phone buzzed again. A text from Damien. We need to talk. Now. She found him pacing in their secret apartment in Brooklyn, his usual confident swagger replaced by nervous energy. They're digging into my accounts, he said without preamble. Someone tipped off the IRS about irregularities in my tax returns. What irregularities? The cash deposits. Damien ran his hands through his hair. The money you gave me to keep quiet about your other affairs. They're calling it unreported income. Serafina's blood turned to ice. Lower your voice. Don't tell me to lower my voice. Damien grabbed her shoulders. Do you understand what's happening? He's destroying us. She shoved him away. Don't touch me. And don't be dramatic. Elias isn't capable of. Wake up, Serafina. Damien laughed bitterly. Your perfect, predictable husband? Look around. Our lives are falling apart, and you think that's a coincidence? He's not that clever, she insisted, but doubt crept into her voice. No. Damien pulled out his phone, showing her a news article. Look who just became majority shareholder in your biggest competitor's firm. The headline made her stomach drop. Thorne Strategies acquires controlling interest in Maxwell Real Estate Holdings. He's not just rich anymore, Damien said quietly. He's powerful, and he's using that power to crush us. Serafina sank onto the couch, her designer dress wrinkling. I need to talk to Cassandra. Your sister? Damien scoffed. The one who's engaged to him? She's still my sister. She's his lawyer. But Serafina was already dialing. The call went straight to voicemail. She tried again and again. Finally, a text. Stop calling. Any communication needs to go through proper legal channels. Desperation clawed at Serafina's throat. She typed quickly. Cass, please. I made a mistake. Damien, he manipulated me. You have to help me. The response was immediate. Like you helped destroy the man I love? Don't contact me again. Serafina threw her phone across the room. This isn't happening. Oh, it's happening. Damien poured himself a drink, hands shaking. You know what else is happening? Someone sent proof of my fake credentials to social media companies. My accounts are being suspended for fraud. We can create new ones. It's not just social media. He downed the drink. My gym license is under review. My clients are canceling. My reputation is ruined. Then we'll start over somewhere else, Serafina said. We have money. No, you had money. My accounts are frozen. Damien's voice turned ugly. You promised me wealth, success. Instead, you've destroyed everything I built. Built? Serafina laughed harshly. You're a fraud who seduces wealthy women. The only thing you built was a house of lies. At least I'm honest about what I am, Damien sneered. What's your excuse? Before she could respond, both their phones buzzed simultaneously. A news alert. The headline made Serafina's knees buckle. Prominent realtor under investigation for financial irregularities. Sources reveal pattern of client fraud. The article detailed suspicious property deals, inflated valuations, and misappropriated client funds. It didn't name her directly. It didn't need to. The details made it clear who they were talking about. He's going to destroy us, Damien whispered. For the first time, Serafina felt real fear. Because she finally understood, this wasn't revenge. This was chess. And Elias was playing to win. Chapter 5. The Tangled Web. Damien Vance stared at his reflection in the gym mirror, but the confident image he'd cultivated for years had crumbled. Dark circles shadowed his eyes, his usually perfectly styled hair disheveled. Another cancellation? The gym owner leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed. Jerry, come on. Damien forced a smile. These people don't know what they're talking about. Save it. Jerry tossed an envelope onto the bench. Your credentials are fake, Damien. The certification board confirmed it this morning. Clear out your locker. You can't do this. Damien stepped forward. I built half your client base, and now they're all filing complaints. Jerry's face reddened. Get out before I call the police. Damien grabbed his bag, hands shaking. Outside, his phone buzzed with another email, his landlord, announcing an immediate rent review. His credit cards were maxed out, his accounts frozen. He dialed Serafina. What? Her voice was strained. I need money. I don't have any. She hissed. Haven't you been listening? All my accounts are under investigation. Then find some. Damien kicked a trash can. This is your fault. You promised me. I promised nothing. Serafina cut in. You pursued me, remember? The charming trainer who just happened to always be around when I was showing properties? Because you were an easy mark. The words spilled out before he could stop them. A rich man's wife playing at being successful. You needed validation so badly. Watch yourself. Serafina's voice turned glacial. Remember who knows your real secrets, Damien. Like what really happened to your last client's jewelry. The threat hung between them. Are you blackmailing me? Damien laughed desperately. That's rich, considering I know about all your affairs. The developer in Miami? The investor from London? You have no proof, don't I? Damien's voice turned sly. I kept records, Serafina. Insurance, I called it. Texts, emails, photos. The line went dead. Damien smiled grimly. Let her stew on that. He needed leverage, and fear was the best kind. His phone buzzed, an unknown number. Mr. Vance? A man's measured voice. This is Detective Corbin. We need to discuss some financial irregularities in your accounts. Damien's stomach dropped. I'm busy right now. This isn't a request. Papers rustled. We have evidence of money laundering through your social media business. Unreported income. Tax evasion. That's ridiculous. Is it? Those cash deposits you've been making, where exactly did that money come from? Damien's mind raced. The money had come from Serafina, payments to keep quiet about her other affairs. But admitting that, I want a lawyer. Smart man. Detective Corbin's voice hardened. Here's the thing. We're also investigating Mrs. Thorne for fraud. Someone in your position might benefit from cooperation. The implication was clear. I need to think about it. Don't think too long. Keys clicked in the background. Oh, and Mr. Vance? Don't leave town. Damien ended the call, hands trembling. He needed a drink. The bar was nearly empty when he walked in. He ordered whiskey, double. Rough day? He turned. A stunning woman sat 2 stools away, offering a sympathetic smile. You could say that. He forced his signature charming grin. I know who you are, she said. The fitness influencer, right? I followed your workouts. Finally, someone who understood his value. He shifted closer. Can I buy you a drink? Isabel. She extended her hand. Isabel Hayes. The name tickled something in his memory, but the whiskey made it hard to focus. So tell me, Damien. Isabel sipped her martini. How does it feel, watching your life collapse? He froze. Excuse me? Your followers dropping by the thousands. Your certification exposed as fake. Your account's frozen. She checked her phone. Oh, and look, your gym membership just got flagged for fraud. Who are you? A friend of Elias Thorne. Her smile turned predatory. The man whose wife you helped steal. Damien stood so quickly his stool toppled. This is harassment. No, this is a warning. Isabel's voice could have frozen fire. The investigation? The frozen accounts? That's just the beginning. You can't prove anything. Those records you kept? Already in police hands. She stood, gathering her purse. You really should update your phone security. It's embarrassingly easy to hack. As she turned to leave, she paused. Oh, and Damien? The blonde at your gym last week? The one you tried to seduce? She works for me. We have that documented too. Damien sagged against the bar, mind spinning. His phone buzzed. Serafina again. We need to meet, she said without preamble. I have a plan to fix this. The plan, it turned out, was as desperate as they were. We go public. Serafina paced their secret apartment. Tell everyone how controlling Elias was. How he drove me into your arms. Paint him as the villain. And the fraud charges? Lies. All lies spread by a bitter man trying to destroy me. It won't work, Damien said quietly. Why not? Because he has proof. Damien exploded. Real proof. Bank records, witness statements, documents we signed. Then we'll produce our own evidence. Stop. Damien grabbed her shoulders. Look at what's happening. My career is ruined. Your clients are fleeing. Our accounts are frozen. He's not just destroying our reputations. He's dismantling our entire lives. He's not that powerful. His father is Arthur Thorne. Damien released her roughly. Do you understand what that means? The connections, the influence. Arthur hates him, Serafina protested. They haven't spoken in years. Well, they're speaking now. Damien pulled up a photo on his phone. Elias and Arthur leaving a restaurant together. And we're the reason why. Serafina sank onto the couch, her carefully maintained facade cracking. What do we do? Damien stared at her for a long moment. Then he pulled out a business card, Detective Corbin's. We save ourselves. Her eyes widened. You wouldn't dare. Watch me. He dialed the number. Detective? About that cooperation you mentioned. The last thing he saw was Serafina's face twisting in fury as she lunged for the phone. Chapter 6. The Shifting Sands. The courtroom buzzed with tension as Cassandra Sterling approached the podium, her heels clicking against marble. She carried herself with the confidence of someone who knew they held all the cards. Your Honor, she began. The evidence will show that Mrs. Thorne engaged in a systematic pattern of fraud, corporate espionage, and financial misconduct. In the gallery, Elias sat motionless, watching his wife's face. Serafina's usual poise had cracked. Her designer outfit couldn't hide the strain of the past weeks. The defendant not only betrayed her marriage vows, Cassandra continued, but she betrayed her client's trust. Bank records show she diverted funds from escrow accounts, created false property valuations, and used insider information to manipulate deals. Objection. Martin Green, Serafina's lawyer, shot to his feet. These allegations are unfounded and prejudicial. I have documentation for claims, Cassandra replied smoothly, producing a thick folder. Bank statements, wire transfers, and testimony from Mrs. Thorne's former clients. Your Honor, Green protested. These documents weren't part of Discover. Actually, they were. Cassandra smiled. Page 247 of our filing. Perhaps you missed it in your rush to smear my client's character? The judge peered at Green over his glasses. Overruled. Continue, Ms. Sterling. In the back of the courtroom, Arthur Thorne watched with growing approval. His son had chosen his warrior well. The evidence mounted throughout the day. Client after client testified about properties misrepresented, funds misappropriated, trust betrayed. During a recess, Arthur approached Elias. Son. He offered a rare smile. She's doing well. She is. Elias's voice remained neutral. My offer still stands. Arthur lowered his voice. One word from me, they both disappear. No mess, no publicity. No. Elias turned to face his father. They need to face justice. Real justice. Justice? Arthur scoffed. Justice is for the weak. Power is what matters. Is that what you taught me? Elias's voice could have cut diamond. When you abandoned us. When Mother died, and you were too busy with your empire to attend her funeral? Arthur flinched. I did what was necessary. No. Elias straightened his tie. You did what was easy. I'm doing what's right. He walked away, leaving Arthur staring after him. The afternoon session brought Damien to the stand. He looked pale, his usual swagger replaced by nervous energy. Mr. Vance, Cassandra began. Please tell the court about your relationship with Mrs. Thorne. Objection. Green jumped up. Relevance? Goes to pattern of behavior and financial misconduct, Cassandra replied. Mr. Vance can testify to specific instances of fraud. Overruled. The judge nodded to Damien. Answer the question. Damien swallowed hard, avoiding Seraphina's glare. We met at my gym, he began. She was showing a property nearby. She told me she was unhappy in her marriage. That Elias was controlling, distant. And the money? Cassandra prompted. She paid me to keep quiet about her other affairs. Cash deposits, usually $50,000 at a time. The courtroom erupted in whispers. Seraphina's face turned ashen. That's a lie, she shouted, rising from her seat. Mrs. Thorne, control yourself, the judge warned. Mr. Green, control your client. These payments, Cassandra continued, unruffled. Where did they come from? Client escrow accounts, Damien said quietly. She would skim money from property deals, manipulate the paperwork to hide the shortfall. You're a liar. Seraphina lunged forward, but Green held her back. I have proof, Damien continued. Recordings, text messages, bank statements. And why are you sharing this now? Cassandra asked.
Because.
Damien glanced at Seraphina, then away. Because what we did was wrong. Mr. Thorne didn't deserve any of this. I was greedy, stupid. I let her convince me we could get away with it. In his seat, Elias remained motionless, but his eyes gleamed with satisfaction. Beside him, Isabel typed rapidly on her tablet, monitoring the real-time impact of the testimony. Thorne's strategy stock was soaring as Seraphina's reputation crumbled. During the next recess, Cassandra found Elias in the courthouse corridor. We're winning, she said simply. Were you ever in doubt?
No.
She touched his arm gently. But Elias. Seraphina's desperate. A desperate person is dangerous. Let her try something, he replied. Everything she does only proves our case. As if on cue, Martin Green approached, his usual confidence dimmed. We need to talk, he said. My client is willing to make a deal. No deals, Elias replied. Be reasonable, Green pressed. She'll plead to lesser charges, make restitution. No. Elias's voice could have frozen flame. She played her game. Now she'll face the consequences. This vendetta won't bring you peace, Green warned. Peace? Elias smiled, cold and sharp. I don't want peace. I want justice. Back in the courtroom, Detective Corbin took the stand. His testimony was devastating. A meticulous trail of financial crimes, false documents, and conspiracy. Mrs. Thorne didn't just commit fraud, he explained. She built her entire business on it. Each legitimate deal masked 3 or 4 fraudulent ones. The money she stole from clients funded her lifestyle with Mr. Vance. Seraphina slumped in her chair, her designer facade cracking completely. Damien sat separately, surrounded by his own lawyers, looking shell-shocked. The final blow came from Isabel. She presented digital evidence, emails, text messages, surveillance footage, showing Seraphina's systematic attempts to undermine Elias's business. She approached his clients after meetings, Isabel testified, offering them deals that would sabotage his contracts. She used insider information to disrupt negotiations, all while presenting herself as the supportive wife. By day's end, the outcome was clear. Seraphina's legal team looked defeated. Damien had turned state's evidence. The press was having a field day. Arthur caught up with Elias as they left the courthouse. I underestimated you, he admitted. You're more ruthless than I ever was. No, Elias straightened his tie. I'm just more patient. You taught me that power is everything. Mother taught me how to use it wisely. For the first time, Arthur looked at his son with something like respect. The day's final scene played out in the courthouse parking garage. Seraphina, desperate and disheveled, tried one last time to reach Elias. Please, she begged. We can start over. I'll confess to everything. Give back the money, like you gave back my dog. Elias's voice was arctic. My home? My trust? I made a mistake.
No.
He looked at her with those cold, calculating eyes. You made a choice. Multiple choices. Each one designed to hurt me, use me, destroy me. He stepped closer. Now you'll live with those choices. I'll fight back, she threatened. I'll tell everyone what you really are. Go ahead. His smile was terrifying in its calmness. Show them exactly who you are. A liar. A thief. A fraud who thought she could play games with people's lives. He turned to leave, then paused. Oh, and Serafina? Duke sends his regards. The garage echoed with her screams of frustration as he walked away, victory in every step. In the elevator, Cassandra touched his arm. It's almost over, she said softly. No, he replied, watching the numbers rise. This is just the beginning. Chapter 7. The Hammer Falls. The jury filed back into the courtroom after 3 days of deliberation. Serafina gripped the edge of the defense table, her manicured nails digging into the wood. Next to her, Martin Green shifted uncomfortably, already sensing defeat. Judge Harrison adjusted his glasses. Has the jury reached a verdict? The forewoman stood. We have, Your Honor. Elias sat motionless in the gallery, Duke at his feet. The German shepherd's ears perked forward, as if he too understood the gravity of the moment. On the count of financial fraud in the first degree, how do you find? We find the defendant, Serafina Thorne, guilty. Serafina's shoulders stiffened. On the count of embezzlement from client accounts? Guilty. On the count of corporate espionage? Guilty. Each verdict fell like a hammer blow. By the fifth guilty, Serafina had slumped in her chair, her designer outfit unable to mask her defeat. Cassandra rose, her voice clear and firm. Your Honor, given the severity of these crimes and the substantial financial damage to multiple victims, the state requests immediate remand pending sentencing. Objection. Green jumped up. My client has no prior record. Your client, Cassandra cut in, has just been convicted of stealing millions from her clients while attempting to destroy a legitimate business. She's a flight risk. Judge Harrison nodded. I agree. Bailiff, take the defendant into custody. As the bailiff approached with handcuffs, Serafina finally broke. You can't do this. I'm Serafina Thorne. No. Elias spoke for the first time, his voice carrying in the quiet courtroom. You were Serafina Thorne. Now you're just another convicted felon. The click of the handcuffs echoed. Serafina turned, her eyes wild. This isn't over, Elias. I'll appeal, You'll what? He stood, straightening his tie. Lie more? Manipulate more? Your games are finished, Serafina. You played. You lost. Duke barked once, as if in agreement. Serafina flinched at the sound. In the corridor outside, reporters swarmed. Cameras flashed as Serafina was led away, her perfect image finally shattered. Damien's sentencing had come earlier, 5 years, reduced from 15 for his cooperation. His testimony had been crucial in securing Serafina's conviction. Cassandra approached Elias, legal files tucked under her arm. 18 to 25 years, she said quietly. Given the multiple counts and the amount stolen, she'll serve at least 15. Good. Elias checked his watch. The press conference? In an hour. I've prepared statements about client restitution and corporate restructuring. Isabel appeared, tablet in hand. The market's already responding. Thorne Strategies stock is up 12%. And Serafina's firm? In free fall. The board's meeting tomorrow to discuss dissolution. Elias nodded once. Make sure our offer to buy their assets is on their desk first thing tomorrow. Already done. Isabel smiled. I also have the documentary crew waiting. They want to interview you about corporate fraud prevention. Perfect timing. His voice held a hint of satisfaction. Nothing sells consultancy services like a cautionary tale. Detective Corbin approached, looking pleased. Mr. Thorne? We found the dog's papers. The ones she forged to claim ownership? We can add forgery charges if you'd like. No need, detective. Elias reached down to scratch Duke's ears. She's lost enough. That's unusually merciful of you, Cassandra observed after Corbin left. Mercy? Elias's eyes gleamed. No, I want her to spend the next 2 decades thinking about everything she lost. The homes, the status, the power, all gone because she underestimated me. He straightened his cuffs. That's not mercy, Cassandra. That's torture. Outside the courthouse, reporters shouted questions. Mr. Thorne, how does it feel to see your wife convicted? Ex-wife, he corrected smoothly. And justice speaks for itself. What about the claims she built your business? The evidence showed exactly who built what. His smile was razor-sharp. And who destroyed their own life through greed and betrayal. Will you be pursuing further charges? That chapter is closed. He took Cassandra's hand. We're focused on the future. The cameras loved it. The wronged husband, dignified in victory, standing with his new fiancée. The perfect redemption story. Later, in the privacy of his office, Arthur visited. Impressive performance, his father said. The press is eating it up. That was the point. Elias didn't look up from his chessboard. Public opinion is just another piece to move. You've learned well. Arthur poured himself a scotch. Though I still say my way would have been cleaner. Your way? Elias moved a knight. You mean having them disappear? That's not justice, father. That's just more lies. Since when do you care about justice? Since I learned that true power isn't in what you can hide. Elias finally looked up. It's in what you can prove. At the women's detention center, Serafina sat in prison orange, her perfect makeup gone, her designer clothes replaced by standard issue garments. The guard announced a visitor. Hello, sister. Cassandra sat across the glass partition. Come to gloat? No. Cassandra's voice was soft. Come to say goodbye. He sent you, didn't he? Serafina's laugh was bitter. His perfect little puppet. He doesn't know I'm here. Cassandra leaned forward. I came because you're still my sister. And I needed you to understand something. What's that? You didn't lose because Elias was smarter, or richer, or more powerful. Cassandra stood. You lost because you thought love was a weakness to exploit. He proved it was a strength to build on. She turned to leave, then paused. Goodbye, Serafina. I hope you find peace in here. Peace. Serafina pressed her hand against the glass. He destroyed my life. No. Cassandra shook her head. You destroyed your life. He just made sure you couldn't destroy anyone else's. Chapter 8. The Final Move. The headline dominated the morning papers. Thorne Strategies acquires rival firm. Former wife's company dissolved after fraud scandal. Elias set the paper aside, sipping his coffee as Duke lounged at his feet. The penthouse view of Manhattan stretched before him, a concrete reminder of all he'd built and rebuilt. The board approved the acquisition unanimously, Isabel reported, spreading documents across his desk. They were practically begging us to take it. Of course they were. Elias signed the papers without hesitation. Their reputation is toxic. We're their only chance at salvaging any value. And their clients? Already transferring their accounts to us. He checked his phone. The Morgan deal just closed. They specifically requested we handle their portfolio, given our proven integrity. Isabel laughed. Proven integrity? That's one way to put it. Perception is reality in business. Elias stood, straightening his suit. Speaking of which, how's our fallen social media star? Isabel pulled up a screen. Damien's prison blog post had exactly 3 likes. His followers have moved on. Last I heard, he's writing a memoir, but no publisher will touch it. Good. Elias checked his calendar. The television interview? 60 minutes, next week. They want to focus on corporate fraud prevention and your inspirational recovery from betrayal. Perfect. He paused at a framed photo. Him and Cassandra at a charity gala, both smiling. Has she called? This morning. Isabel's voice softened. She needs a few more days. Seeing Serafina in prison? It affected her. I know. Elias touched the frame briefly. Give her time. Some wounds need space to heal. The intercom buzzed. Mr. Thorne? Your father's here. Arthur strode in, looking uncomfortable in a way Elias had never seen. The papers are signed, he said without preamble. Thorne Industries is yours. Elias accepted the document silently. You didn't have to force me out, Arthur continued. I would have given you a role. A role? Elias's voice was ice. Like the role you gave me after Mother died? When you abandoned us for your empire? I was trying to build something for you.
No.
Elias placed the papers carefully in his safe. You built something for yourself. Now I've taken it, just like I'll take everything else you valued more than family. Arthur's face reddened.
You ungrateful.
Careful, father. Elias's smile was lethal. Remember who controls your retirement fund now? After Arthur stormed out, Isabel approached cautiously.
That was harsh.
It was necessary. Elias turned back to the windows. He needed to understand that actions have consequences. Even decades later, his phone buzzed. Cassandra. I'm ready, she said simply. Can we talk? He found her in their spot in Central Park, by the chess tables where they'd spent countless hours in college. I saw her, Cassandra said without preamble. In prison. I know. She's broken, Elias. Really broken. Good. He sat beside her. That means she finally understands what she did. Do you ever regret it? How far we took this?
No.
He took her hand gently. Do you? I regret that it was necessary. She leaned against him. But not that we did it. They sat in comfortable silence, watching chess players locked in their eternal battles. I love you, she said finally. Not because of what we did, but because of who you are. Even at your most ruthless, you never lost your honor. Honor? He smiled slightly. Is that what you call it? You could have destroyed them quietly, secretly. Instead you chose justice. Real justice. Justice is just revenge wrapped in law, he mused.
No.
She turned to face him. Revenge is about making yourself feel better. Justice is about making sure they can never hurt anyone else. His phone buzzed. Another news alert. Damien had attempted to sell his story to a tabloid. The publisher had instead run an expose on his history of fraud. Speaking of justice, he showed her the article. Will it ever end? She wondered. It already has. He stood, offering his hand. They're just taking a long time to realize it. The next day brought fresh challenges. Thorn Strategies was expanding globally, and Elias threw himself into the work with renewed focus. London office is online, Isabel reported. Paris next week. The Europeans are particularly interested in our fraud prevention protocols. Send them the case study, he instructed. Redact the names, but keep the details. Let them see exactly how we handle betrayal. Already trending on LinkedIn. She grinned. The business world loves a good morality tale. It's not about morality. He reviewed the contracts. It's about consequences. The intercom buzzed again. Mr. Thorne? Detective Corbin called. Seraphina's appealing her conviction. Let her. He didn't look up. The evidence is ironclad. She's claiming emotional distress, saying you manipulated her into stealing from her clients? Into committing fraud? He laughed softly. Let her appeal. Each failed attempt just reinforces the truth. That evening, he visited the chess club where he'd played as a boy. The old-timers still remembered him. Heard about your wife, one said, moving a pawn. Tough break. Not really. Elias countered with his knight. Just another game. Life isn't a game, son, isn't it? He captured the man's bishop. It's all about position, strategy, and knowing which pieces to sacrifice. And what did you sacrifice? Elias studied the board. Nothing I wasn't prepared to lose. Chapter 9. The Phoenix Rises. The wedding was an intimate affair, despite the media's desperate attempts to cover it. Elias and Cassandra exchanged vows in a private ceremony, surrounded only by those who had proven their loyalty. Duke sat proudly beside them, wearing a bow tie. Isabel served as maid of honor, her tech genius reputation now matched by her role in one of the business world's greatest takedowns. Ready to begin your new life? Cassandra asked as they danced. I already have. He spun her gracefully. This is just making it official. Later, in his office, Elias stood watching the city lights. The past year had transformed him from successful businessman to legendary strategist. His methods were studied, his victory analyzed. A message flashed on his phone. The final appeal had been denied. Serafina would serve her full sentence. In her cell, Serafina stared at the small TV as entertainment news covered Elias's wedding. He played us, she whispered to herself. He played us all. Shut up about your ex, her cellmate snapped. Nobody cares anymore. That was the true punishment, Serafina realized. Not the prison time or the lost wealth, but the fade into obscurity. She had become nothing more than a cautionary tale. At his desk, Elias moved chess pieces absently. The game that had taught him strategy as a boy had served him well as a man. A knock at the door. Arthur. Congratulations, his father said gruffly. The wedding, it was nice. Thank you. Elias didn't look up from the chessboard. I've been thinking about what you said. About consequences. Arthur sat heavily. You were right. I failed you as a father. Yes, you did. But you succeeded anyway. Arthur gestured at the office. You built all this. Became stronger than I ever was. That wasn't the goal. No. Arthur raised an eyebrow. Then what was? Justice. Elias finally met his father's eyes. For mother. For myself. For anyone who thought love was a weakness to exploit. Arthur nodded slowly. Want to play? He gestured at the chessboard. Elias studied his father for a long moment. Set up the pieces. As they played, father and son finally began to understand each other. Not through words, but through the silent language of strategy and respect. The game ended in checkmate. Elias's victory as decisive as all his others. Well played, Arthur conceded. I learned from the best. Elias reset the board. Both what to do and what not to do. The city sparkled beyond the windows, a testament to power properly wielded. Elias had not just survived betrayal, he had alchemized it into triumph. The media dubbed him the Phoenix of Wall Street, the man who rose from betrayal to build an empire. But they missed the point. He hadn't risen from the ashes. He had mastered the fire itself. His phone buzzed one final time. Cassandra, reminding him about dinner. Game over, he told his father, standing. Time to live. Arthur watched his son leave, finally recognizing the truth. Elias hadn't just won a game or gotten revenge. He had become a legend. Epilogue. 10 years later. The Manhattan skyline had changed in the decades since Elias Thorne's legendary takedown of his unfaithful wife, but his power had only grown. The Thorne Industries Tower now dominated the financial district, its sleek architecture a testament to its owner's precision and strength. Elias sat in his top-floor office, his hair now touched with distinguished gray at the temples. Duke's son, Rex, lay at his feet. The original Duke had passed peacefully 3 years ago, but his loyalty lived on in his offspring. A holographic display showed global market data streaming in real time. Thorne Strategies had evolved into a multinational empire, specializing in corporate security and fraud prevention. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. The man whose wife had tried to destroy him now made billions protecting others from similar fates. The Singapore merger is complete, Isabel announced, entering without knocking. Time had been kind to her, success adding a confident grace to her movements. As Chief Technology Officer of Thorne Industries, she'd revolutionized corporate security systems. Numbers? Elias asked, not looking up from his chessboard. 30% above projections. She sat across from him, moving a pawn without invitation. They still played daily, their childhood ritual now a corporate tradition. The Asian markets love our new blockchain verification system. And our special project? Isabel's lips curved. The algorithm caught 3 potential Serafinas this quarter. Corporate spouses trying to embezzle funds, fake documentation, hidden accounts, all exposed before they could strike. Good. Elias captured her night. Send the case studies to our clients. Remind them why they need us. His phone buzzed. Cassandra. Their marriage had grown stronger over the years, their shared experience during the Thorne affair, as the media called it, forging an unbreakable bond. The foundation approved the new scholarship, she reported. The Thorne Justice Foundation, their joint venture, provided legal support to victims of financial fraud. We'll help 50 new clients this year. Make it 100, he replied. Use my personal funds if needed. Always the strategist, she teased. Using past pain to prevent future crimes. Pain is only useful if you transform it. He moved his queen. How's the book coming? Cassandra had finally decided to tell their story, though not in the way publishers expected. Instead of a revenge tale, she was writing a legal textbook on corporate fraud prevention using redacted details from Serafina's case. Final chapter today, she said. I'm calling it The Price of Betrayal, a comprehensive guide to corporate security. Perfect. He checked his watch. Dinner tonight? I have something to discuss. The Milan expansion? That too. He smiled slightly. And the adoption papers? They decided to adopt 2 years ago, after careful consideration. Just like everything else in Elias's life, parenthood would be approached with strategic precision and absolute commitment. His intercom buzzed. Mr. Thorne? Detective Corbin is here. Miles Corbin entered, now Police Commissioner Corbin. The Thorne case had launched his career into the stratosphere. Thought you'd want to know, he said without preamble. Serafina's up for parole next month. Elias's hand stilled on his chess piece. After 15 years? Interesting. She's been a model prisoner, Corbin reported. Started a program teaching financial literacy to inmates. Even wrote a book about her crimes. He paused. It's actually good. Completely honest about what she did, why she did it. Send me the manuscript, Elias said. I'll have our publishing division review it. You'd publish your ex-wife's confession? Why not? Elias moved his bishop. The ultimate victory isn't in destruction, Commissioner. It's in transformation. After Corbin left, Elias pulled up the prison records. Serafina's photo showed a woman aged by consequence, her once perfect features lined with regret. She'd stopped dyeing her hair, stopped pretending to be something she wasn't. Are you going to fight the parole? Isabel asked quietly.
No.
Elias closed the file. She served her time, learned her lesson. The game is long over. And Damien? Working as a personal trainer in Ohio, Isabel pulled up the data. Small gym, modest apartment. His social media presence never recovered. He tried writing a tell-all book, but our legal team shut that down years ago. And my father? Arthur Thorne had passed away 2 years ago, but not before reconciling with his son. Their weekly chess games had become a bridge, allowing them to rebuild their relationship through strategy and unspoken understanding. The Arthur Thorne Memorial Fund is doing well, Isabel reported. The youth chess program has expanded to 50 schools. Elias nodded, satisfied. His father's legacy, like everything else, had been transformed into something useful. A notification popped up, the adoption agency. Their potential daughter's final paperwork was ready. Sophie, age 7, already showed signs of brilliant strategic thinking. She'd beaten everyone at the agency at chess. Ready to be a father? Isabel asked softly. I've been ready, Elias replied. Just waiting for the right moment, the right child. You've changed, she observed. The old Elias would have calculated risks, planned contingencies. I still do. He smiled slightly. But now I plan for joy, not just survival. His phone buzzed again. A message from Gemma Davis, of all people. She transformed her hairdressing salon into a successful chain, using the lessons learned from the Thorne case to build legitimate success. The universe has a sense of humor, she'd written. Serafina's prison book? It's actually helping people. Women are learning to recognize toxic patterns, protect themselves from fraud. Maybe some good came from all this after all. Elias forwarded the message to Cassandra. His wife had maintained distant contact with Gemma over the years, understanding that loyalty, once proven, was worth preserving. The sun began to set over Manhattan, painting the sky in shades of victory. Elias stood, Rex padding quietly beside him. Send the adoption papers to legal, he instructed Isabel, and schedule a board meeting for next week. It's time to announce the legacy plan. Legacy plan? Sophie will inherit everything someday, he explained. But first, she'll learn. About strategy, about consequences, about transformation. You're really doing this, Isabel marveled. Becoming a father, passing on your empire. Life is a game, he reminded her. But the true victory isn't in winning. It's in what you build from the ashes of the past. That evening, at their penthouse, Elias and Cassandra shared a quiet dinner. She'd become more beautiful with age, success and purpose adding depth to her grace. I visited her, Cassandra admitted quietly. Serafina. For the first time in 15 years, Elias waited, giving her space to continue. She's different. Really different. She asked about you, about our life. Not with jealousy or anger, but with genuine remorse. Cassandra touched his hand. She thanked me, Elias. Said we did her a favor, forcing her to face herself. And did we? I think so. She squeezed his fingers. The sister I knew died 15 years ago. The woman in that prison? She's someone else. Someone better. Redemption comes in strange forms, he mused. Speaking of forms, she pulled out the adoption papers. Sophie's waiting. They signed together, their pens moving in perfect synchronization. Another strategic move, but this time toward joy rather than vengeance. Think we're ready? Cassandra asked. No one's ever ready, he replied. But we're prepared. That's better. Later that night, Elias stood at his home office window, chessboard at his side. The pieces gleamed in the city lights, each one representing a lesson learned, a battle won, a transformation achieved. His empire had been built on the ashes of betrayal, but it had grown into something more. Not just a testament to revenge, but a legacy of justice, protection, and growth. The security feed showed Serafina in her prison cell, reading to fellow inmates from her book. Her voice, once sharp with ambition, now carried the weight of hard-won wisdom. The greatest loss, she read, isn't in the betrayal itself, but in what we become because of it. Choose transformation over destruction.
Choose growth over revenge.
Elias smiled slightly, recognizing his own lessons reflected back. He'd chosen both, destruction followed by transformation, revenge transformed into empire. His phone lit up with the adoption agency's final approval. Sophie would arrive next week, ready to learn the game from a master who turned pain into power. Your move, he murmured to the city lights, to the future, to the endless game of life itself. The chess piece moved with quiet certainty, king to center, claiming its rightful place. Not through brutality or betrayal, but through strategy, patience, and the understanding that true victory lies not in destroying your opponents, but in building something they could never tear down. In his pocket, he carried a small photo of Duke, his loyal companion through the darkest days. Rex whined softly, so like his father, reminding Elias that loyalty, once earned, transcends generations. The empire he'd built would stand for generations, not as a monument to revenge, but as a testament to transformation. Each department, each subsidiary, each charitable foundation served a purpose, protecting others from the pain he'd endured, turning bitter lessons into powerful tools. Cassandra joined him at the window, her hand finding his. Together, they transformed betrayal into blessing, pain into purpose. Their marriage wasn't just a personal victory, but a symbol of redemption itself. Sophie's room is ready, she said softly. The chess set you had made for her arrived. Hand-carved, he nodded. Each piece tells a story. Our story? Parts of it. He turned to face her. The parts about victory, about rising stronger, about building something lasting from temporary pain. The night deepened around them, but the Thorn Industries tower blazed with light, a beacon of transformation in a city of ambition. Inside its walls, algorithms caught betrayals before they could destroy lives. Legal teams protected the vulnerable, and the legacy of a man who turned revenge into redemption continued to grow. The game wasn't over. It never would be. But Elias Thorne had mastered its most important rule. The true victory lies not in the final move, but in how you transform the game itself. In her prison cell, Serafina closed her book, understanding at last the magnitude of her mistakes and the unexpected gift of their consequences. In Ohio, Damien trained clients in a small gym, finally finding peace in honest work and modest success. And in his tower, Elias Thorne, once betrayed but never broken, prepared to teach a new generation that power isn't in what you destroy, but in what you build from the destruction. The chessboard waited, pieces aligned, ready for the next game. But this time, the stakes weren't revenge or survival. They were legacy, love, and the endless possibility of transformation. Rex settled at his feet, loyal as his father before him. The city sparkled, full of games yet to be played, victories yet to be won, transformations yet to be achieved. Elias moved his final piece. Checkmate wasn't the end. He knew now. It was just the beginning of a new game, a better game, played not for vengeance, but for the pure joy of mastery itself. The future awaited, bright with promise, rich with possibility. The phoenix had risen, and its fire would light the way for generations to come. This is where our story comes to an end. Share your thoughts in the comments section. Thanks for your time. If you enjoy this story, please subscribe to this channel. Click on the video you see on the screen, and I will see you there.